Shomrabyug.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Michael and Benjamin's podcast. Welcome back to the biggest event in comic book and movie media of the year. It's Michael and Benjamin's Fandome. And my name is Michael. I'm the Michael of Michael and Benjamin's Fandome. And I am joined by the only man in the DC Mandome. It's Ben. Hello, Ben.
How are you now? I'm here in the dome, Michael. It's a lovely dome. It's a little bit claustrophobic, but it's a nice dome. I don't know why you've built this for me, Michael.
Benjamin.
But, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I watched a bit of the Fandome, and it was shite.
I'd say it was.
It was a lot of shite.
I'd say it was.
It was just Zoom meetings. I've had enough of Zoom meetings, man. I don't want any more of them.
Our lives, Michael.
Yes.
For both of us, are bloody consumed with bloody remote meetings. I've had enough of it.
Consumed, Ben. Consumed, Ben.
I see what you did there, because, yeah, very good. Very good. Michael.
Yes?
Michael, do you know what else I've been doing?
Go on.
I've been bloody practicing, and the acoustics in this dome are bloody great. Listen.
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have anything music.
Very good. I was wondering where you were going, and once again, you've surprised me. Very good. You should join an improv troupe, Ben. Benjamin.
Yes, and
speaking of comedy, Benjamin, I think one of my favorite things that was released over the weekend was this. I don't know if you've seen it, but there was a kind of fan parody of a Zack Snyder trailer for the Justice League.
No, amazing.
Yeah, so they took a lot of clips from the original Zack Snyder cut that were in trailers and stuff and were released as sneak peeks, but didn't make it into the Joss Whedon, and then they just put it together with Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, which is Zack Snyder's favorite song of all time, and then they just released that as a trailer. And I thought that was quite clever. I thought that was quite clever.
I have that exact joke written.
Have you written the same? Oh no! Oh, that's very disappointing. Oh no! I'm a norm. I've come up with the same joke as a norm.
Oh, you normie fuck.
Okay, you do your version. Just pretend I haven't said anything and you do it, and we'll let the listeners decide whose was funnier.
So, Michael,
Yes,
one of the big things to come out of DC Fandom is that Zack Snyder is the most hardcore Leonard Cohen fan of all time.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
And he only listens to the one song on repeat.
He does, doesn't he?
That's bloody Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen.
He just loves that song, Ben.
For anyone who's not 100% clear on that particular joke, ladies and gentlemen, go watch Watchmen.
Do, it's good.
You'll see what we mean. You'll see what we mean.
There's a sexy scene, Ben.
Michael, I wasn't all that taken with the Schneider cut reveal teaser thingy.
Well, Benjamin, in my pretend mockery of it there, I've set out my stall basically that what the trailer is footage that wasn't in the Joss Whedon version.
Which I don't know means anything special.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a real trailer. It's a mission statement for this isn't your Joss Whedon's Justice League.
This isn't your mama's Joss Whedon's Justice League.
Exactly. It's not your mama's or your papa's. Benjamin, is going to come out in 4 1-hour segments.
Yes. I also no, not interested.
You'll watch it, Ben. You like a Batman. You like a Wonder Woman.
I do like a Batman, but I have yet to see the original Justice League film. I haven't watched it.
You're growing your hair long like Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa's.
Yeah. So you'll watch it. You'll watch it and you'll enjoy it.
I'll watch it. I probably won't, though. Michael.
Yes, Benjamin.
Michael.
Yes.
It's very self-congratulatory, despite being in the warm-ups before the marathon. As opposed to it's just
Hallelujah, Ben. Hallelujah.
Oh goodness! I enjoyed the little FU at the end where they include the Bruce Wayne. He hasn't faced all of us together, and I feel like that's Zack Snyder saying, "Me and the fans, all of us together."
Yeah, not Joss Whedon or the producers.
And people are so excited, Michael. One of the things that fascinated me, people are so excited about Zack Snyder's Steppenwolf design.
Yeah.
But he's just a big bloody grey man.
He's still just a big grey man. Although he's less just a big grey, weird-looking Kieran Hines, and now more of a flat-out monster.
Yeah, okay, he's a big old beastie boy.
Or as you would say, monstrant. But also, Ben, it has Darkseid in it, and he's going to lose, and it has Batman.
Is Darkseid not in the original?
No.
Oh, well, that's very exciting.
Yeah, Ben.
Hence why they put him at the very start of the trailer.
Yeah. You should watch the original, Ben, just for sake of comparison.
No.
Yeah.
So, Benjamin, refuse.
One of the most interesting things about Wonder Woman 1984 was that there was a great mystery about whether or not they were going to go full cheetah with Kristen Wiig's character, the cheetah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, are they going to do it, or is she just going to be a lady in a leopard print scarf like they would have done in the 90s? And Benjamin,
Classic. Go on.
they've solved the most compelling mystery of the film before the film's out.
Yeah, the dickheads.
There she is, look, she's a big old cheetah.
She's a big old cheetah. There's my dog having a bark. Hang on just one second.
No, don't. Don't.
Okay,
Just
go
keep
on.
going. People
Go
have
on.
heard
Just
dogs
let her
barking.
bark.
They won't be upset.
Okay.
Benjamin, she's a big old nudie cheetah.
Yep,
And
she's
she's
a
coming
big naked cheetah lady.
She's coming to get you.
Coming to get you. Yeah, I mean, the furries will be happy.
They will, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else will. Well, I mean, it does kind of take a bit of the bite out of it. You'd like a big cheetah reveal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean,
cheetah reveal.
that could have been the moment of the film where you go, oh, they've done it. She's gone full cheetah. But no, it's not happening. We've seen her entire arc, Ben. She's a nerdy, jealous lady. She makes a
and
wish.
she bloody transforms.
Yeah, she makes a wish to be more powerful, and then she fights Wonder Woman and presumably loses. Then she fights Wonder Woman again and presumably loses, and she keeps wishing to be more and more powerful until she, in the end, becomes a big old monster. And that's it. That's all you've got for him. He's gone. He's gone to look at his dog. He doesn't care about me or my opinions about Wonder Woman. Doesn't give a shit.
Those are all excellent points,
Doesn't
Michael.
give a single shit about my opinions about Wonder Woman. Anyway, it looks good. I'll go see it. Benjamin.
Yeah.
I thought that the trailer, it was not really a trailer, but the reveal for Suicide Squad was quite good.
Oh, Michael. Boy, oh boy. Am I a pleased as peach plum boy. I'm very excited about this, Michael. Very interesting, Michael. It's a soft reboot.
Yeah, Ben, you don't need to watch that previous one.
It's a soft reboot, Michael. They've kept actors and characters from the... Rick Flag is coming back.
Rick Flag's
Joel
back,
Kinnaman
Ben.
is coming back.
Your favourite character, Rick Flag, is coming back. So
What?
that's good.
That's great news.
That's great news, yeah.
Michael.
That's great news.
It's great news. Viola Davis, the bloody human equivalent of some cardboard that has a bit of sass attached to it, is back as Amanda Waller. That's going to be fun.
Ben, there's so many of them.
Oh, Michael, look, I've got the list here, Michael. I'm going to go through the list.
Oh, I thought we
Let's
weren't,
go through them
but
together.
all right. Yeah, okay.
No. We're not going into who the characters are. We're
Right.
just going to look at who's starring as who.
Okay.
We're just going to do a who's who, Michael.
Right,
Here.
okay.
So Joel Kinnaman is back. Bloody Margot Robbie is back.
Yeah.
She's back as it happens. And Idris Elba, who we thought was replacing Will Smith, isn't at all. He's playing a brand new character. He's going to be Bloodsport.
Yes,
Michael.
Ben, we never did think that. Every time it comes up, you say that, and I point out that we never did think that.
So, Michael, you'll recall that I said that he probably wasn't replacing... hang on. Jesus.
Bloody hell. Right. So he's gone to look at the dog again. He doesn't care about Suicide Squad anymore. Jai Courtney's in it. He's good. He's got a boomerang. He's Captain Boomerang. That's probably going to be good. He was one of the best things in the first one. Michael Rooker's in it. He plays some sort of vampire. I can't remember what his character's name is. David Dashmalchian. He's throwing polka dots at people. Left, right and centre. All sorts of coloured polka dots. He's just flinging them at them. There's an orange lady. She looks like she's orange and she's got purple clothes on. Oh,
Okay,
that's going
it's
to be fascinating.
it's Mongol. It's okay. The characters that we have, Michael, are Savant, who Michael Rooker is playing.
I've
collaborator.
already covered him.
Yeah, it was Javelin, played by Fula Borg.
Yeah, that's
Who's,
just Boomerang, but with javelins.
Yeah, with javelins. We have Polka Dot Man, as you just said, hurling colours around.
Yeah, left, right, and centre.
We've got Ratcatcher 2. They draw a lot of emphasis to the 2.
Yeah.
There, so that's probably important. As I said, Bloodsport already. Mongol is going to be there. That's the orange skin lady.
Mongol.
Then we have one that I'm quite excited about, Michael, and had no idea was happening. We have Peter Capaldi as the Thinker.
Yeah, he's good.
That's going to be interesting. Alice Braga is there as Sol Soria, who I'm not sure who that is at all.
Never heard of her, Ben.
You and I's favourite breakout SNL comedian, Michael, bloody Pete Davidson is there as Blackguards, which is just bizarre. Nathan Fillion's been shoehorned in there somewhere as TDK. Jai Courtney is back.
Oh, I've covered him already. He's back, Ben.
Boo.
He's back. You can't throw him away. He'll come back. He's like a boomerang.
But then the internet's favourite bloody invisible man, Michael, John Cena, is there.
Yeah.
There's also a king shark. Now, Michael, I'm going to throw it out here now. Stake my claim on the podcast. King Shark is voiced by Taika Waititi. They don't actually say it in the trailer, but his name is there in the credits at the end. And everybody knows, Michael, if you want a hilarious big character in CGI, you get Taika Waititi.
He's just going to do Korg? Korg as a shark?
Korg is a shark, and I'm all for it, Michael.
Okay, I'll watch that.
I'm all for it.
I'll watch that.
Can't get enough of it.
I'll watch that.
Yeah, we'll probably delve into that a little bit more in future episodes, Michael, and flesh it out.
I bet we'll have to.
We've also got the behind-the-scenes trailer for Suicide Squad, Michael, and I don't know how many times a cast can say it's like nothing you've ever seen before. You're not going to know what to expect, but boy, oh boy, did they go for the record in that behind-the-scenes trailer.
It's like nothing we've ever seen before, allegedly.
Oh, you won't know what to expect, Michael.
I probably
apparently.
Won't. Yeah. Benjamin.
Jesus, it was intense, yeah.
Speaking, on the other hand, though, of things which are exactly what you'd expect, did you see the trailer for The Batman?
The Batman. Oh, Michael, in 2006, Jared Way's The Black Parade premiered with My Chemical Romance, and I got serious PTSD from watching the Batman trailer. Oh my goodness, Michael. There are several fully grown emo people that are just rubbing their hands with glee.
Right, go on. I don't know why. I don't follow you there. You're going to have to elaborate on that.
Emo Batman. It's the most emo Batman you've ever seen, Michael. Before we continue, Michael, I'm very excited about this film. I think it looks very good.
Yes.
However, the aesthetic here is like Tim Burton and My Chemical Romance had a baby and they birthed it out and you had a skinny, kind of emaciated, non-threatening Batman. Because I'll be honest, that first reveal of the suit didn't fill me with dread. If I was a criminal, Michael, and someone rocked up to me in that suit with that stature, I might have a go.
But then remember when he beat that fella up, Ben?
Oh, that was excellent, Michael. Such viciousness, such violence.
He just very violently beat that man up.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
Yes.
It was aggressive. Michael, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's a very dark Gotham.
I thought it was very Christopher Nolan, to be honest with you.
It is a touch too Christopher Nolan.
It's very Christopher Nolan.
I think it's Christopher Nolan with a touch more personality, Michael.
Oh.
I like the idea of a Paul Dano Riddler as a serial killer kind of guy, rocking around, taping people up with some questions.
Taping people's heads up with duct tape.
Heads up. There's a lot of inspirations going on in that initial trailer, Michael. I think it's undeniably Tim Burton inspired to a degree, and undeniably Christopher Nolan inspired.
Christopher Burton.
Said, there's a lot of Christopher Burton rocking the director's chair for this one.
Tim Nolan.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's playing Alfred, but there's a kind of a Cockney thing.
Andy Serkis.
I think it's Andy Serkis. Get the fuck in. No way.
Andy Serkis. Yeah,
no way. Oh, I'm all for it.
Mate, I was in the MI5, mate. I'll kill a man with his arm.
I'm looking forward to it, Michael. It seems to be heavily inspired by your least favorite DC writer, Jeff Johns.
Yeah, get rid of him. Get him, put him in the bin.
It seemed to be inspired by his alternate reality Earth 1 line of comic books. There's a lot of that going on. It's a darker Gotham. It's a grittier Gotham. Robert Pattinson looks good.
Robert Pattinson looks fine, yeah. Although when he takes off the mask at the end and he's wearing a bit of makeup and he's a bit pale, he does look a bit bloody jokery, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's a touch of that going on, Michael. Maybe there's going to be some twists and turns.
Twists and turns, Ben. Twists and turns. Benjamin, the bloody Catwoman is in a homemade costume.
Yeah, all for it, Michael. All for it.
You're all right with
Zoe
that.
Kravitz.
Oh, stop it
as
now,
Catwoman.
Benjamin. This is.
I'll take it whatever way it comes.
Stop it, Benjamin.
They already have my ticket.
Oh, stop it, Benjamin.
It's
you're
bought.
You're also a big fan of Colin the Farreller, the Riddler, the Farreller.
He's not the Riddler.
He's the Penguin. Sorry, he's the Penguin.
He's the Penguin. He's a weird little penguin fella. Is he going to be an Irish penguin? I hope he is.
I hope he is, yeah. Here, listen to me now. I'll get you with the umbrella.
Oh, way back when I was only a little chiseler, I went to the Dublin Zoo and I saw the penguins and I said, yeah, that's a bit of me, that.
I'll put you up in the air with my umbrella and I'll shoot you with poison.
Do you think he's going to be channeling his inner Conor McGregor again? Rocking around
I hope not. That was amusing in The Gentleman, but that's the last I want to see of that.
That's the last
Benjamin.
I want to see that. Go on.
What was the other thing? Benjamin, did you see the reveal of the Suicide Squad kill the Justice League game?
Michael, the 4 minutes or so of banter between the Suicide Squad is already better than 2016's The Suicide Squad.
It was very reminiscent of the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Very enjoyable, Michael. Big fan. All for it.
My favourite moment, Ben, was at the end when Captain Boomerang threw the boomerang at Superman. Superman barely noticed and he said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that, Shark." Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
What I'm excited to
was King Shark
Go
Dave
on.
Batista? It sounded like
Yeah,
Dave
I think
Bautista.
it is. It sounds just like it. And he's playing a character that he's played before. He's just
Drax again, yeah. It will be interesting if that comes out and you have Dave Bautista as King Shark and simultaneously in the movies you have Taika Waititi as King Shark.
One of the things that I'm kind of fascinated by here, Michael, is that the Harley Quinn cartoon
Yes.
seems to be having a very strong influence on a lot of DC properties.
Is that
because
right?
the King Shark design that we see in the Suicide Squad movie is very, very close to the character voiced by Ron Funches in the Harley Quinn cartoon.
He's a big
They're
chubby
almost
fun
exactly
time
the
guy.
same. Yeah, he's a big chubby fun time guy. And
Yeah.
I'd say he's going to get a whiff of blood in the movie and Hulk out kind of. I'd say there's a Hulk mode kind of King Shark vibe going. I'm all for it. I'm all for it, Michael. But as I said, the banter between the four kind of old school Suicide Squad lineup, your Harley Quinn,
Yeah, yeah.
your bloody Deadshot,
He never
your
misses.
bloody Captain Boomerang, and then Michael, when they all slag the shit out of him for saying they never miss, it's like when Shane, Jim, and myself sit there and go, "Oh, I could beat him up," and we all do it to you. It's our bit for you. You know, we all sit around a poker table and just make fun of you when you try and say I could take him.
I probably could though.
You know, yeah, you probably could though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you say it all the time.
And
Yeah.
Deadshot doesn't miss.
Deadshot doesn't miss.
So,
I know, except
we
that-
both have a point, really. Yeah, in a lot of ways, I am the Deadshot of our group of friends. Also
Is
the
that
coolest.
so?
Yes, I'm also the coolest. Ben!
The really sad thing is you probably are the coolest.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I am the coolest. Yeah, it's true. I'm definitely the coolest. Ben! Be quiet for a minute. What are we talking about? Benjamin, the one last thing that happened. Oh, Black Adam. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most nothing reveal of all time. Here's some concept art narrated by The Rock.
Yeah, concept art, animatic. Also, wasn't impressed with The Rock's narration. He really phoned that in.
I'm the Black Adam. I don't really know this character, but he looks cool. So we're changing it to be The Rock, basically.
Yeah, it looks like it gave me strong Scorpion King vibes.
Yeah, of course it did, Ben. He's the villain with an ancient Egyptian tie-in who becomes all-powerful and magical. He's doing the Scorpion King again. He's haunted by the Scorpion King. He wakes up at night in a sweaty, plasticky CG dream and goes, "Oh!"
Sweaty, plasticky CG
Yeah,
dream.
yeah, because you remember he was the Scorpion King, Ben. He was all
Yeah,
sweaty
no, I
and plasticky.
remember.
He was gross. So, obviously that haunts him to this very day, so he's taking another crack at it.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
That film's never getting made.
Black Adam.
Yeah, it's not happening.
No, they're just going to release a straight to Blu-ray animatic of concept art that moves a little bit. in parallax effect.
Yeah. Benjamin, though, I tell you
Go
what,
on.
that's enough of the fandom, I feel.
Yeah, we've had enough of being inside this dome.
Because, Benjamin,
Boo.
I didn't think it was great. It was just Zoom meetings for a whole day.
I didn't watch any of it, Michael, because I don't. I, as you know, Michael, I don't muss with cons. Not my thing. Don't like them.
Benjamin, we go to cons every year. We go to 3 a year.
No, you make me go to cons.
And you
every
get
year.
all sweaty and plasticky and think you're the Scorpion King.
I don't actually. That's not actually true, Michael. I think I perform with a
You
good
go,
degree of
you go
professionalism.
around the con going chap 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 chap. I'm the Scorpion King. Chap 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 chap. And we're like,
And
everyone
so
just
far, I've been
stand back from him a little bit. He gets very pinchy. That's what happens.
Anyway,
yes,
moving
yes.
on from there.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I think people got way more hyped than they needed to be. I had to pour through a couple of trailers this morning. I had to watch a couple of reaction videos because I didn't watch any of the panels, so I decided. And it seemed like a lot of mock shock and awe. This is all stuff we knew with a bit more polish.
Yeah. There was no.
Do you know what I mean?
There was nothing big and exciting. For me, the most exciting thing was the not Justice League, the Suicide Squad stuff, because it was a bit new and exciting. But yeah, it was just trailers. They released 4 trailers, Ben. They managed to drag a day-long event out of releasing 4 trailers.
Yeah, and to be honest, Michael, they didn't give away a whole lot. I mean,
No,
as I said, I'm excited for the Batman.
Yeah,
That looks fun. I'm enjoying a completely alternate take. I'm hoping it's not just Christopher Nolan. I'm hoping it's...
It looks a bit
little
Christopher
bit more.
Nolan, and it has Christopher Nolan's mate Robert Pattinson in it. And
It
they're
does.
mates.
Best mates.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bezo mates.
Yeah, so, it might
Um,
just be Christopher Nolan's Batman again.
Oh, Michael, do you know what I found out?
What did you find out?
It's pronounced Tenet. It said it in the trailer.
Tenet!
Tenet. It's not 10A at all. My whole
I thought
joke.
it was 10A. Your whole joke about it being next to 10B,
joke of the
Ben.
year.
Your best ever joke. What a shame.
Joke of the year.
Benjamin.
Ruined.
Speaking, though, of things that have come out, did you watch the HBO television program Lovecraft Country?
Yeah, bloody did.
I bet you did, Benjamin. I tell you what, Benjamin, we won't go straight into spoilers. We'll ease into the spoilers a little bit. But
yeah, we will.
My favourite first episode of a thing in a long time.
So I'm not going to curse, Michael.
You just already did. You might as well commit to it now.
So floody good.
It was so good, Benjamin.
So
good. Benjamin. Very good.
Chef's kiss.
Very delicious. So, Ben, it's set in the... When is it set?
50s, Michael.
It's set in the 50s. It's set in the 50s. And
it's pre-civil rights movement.
And it really, the main story is a man who goes back to his hometown because his dad's gone missing. And it turns out his dad was a bit of a weird character.
Bit of a dick.
So he goes back to his hometown and he assembles a motley crew of his kindly uncle and his sexy childhood friend. And they're going to go find his dad.
Yeah. And that's the premise, Michael, but there's a twist.
There are two twists,
They're bloody
Ben.
black in Jim Crow America.
Yeah. The big problem that they have is racism.
Yeah, it's a big old problem.
So they have to go and try and find his dad, but there's racism.
There's a lot of racism, Michael.
Okay. I tell you what, though,
it's
Ben.
no good.
The only word you could use to describe this is lavish.
Oh, Michael, the budget.
Oh,
the budget.
It's a thing of beauty, Ben. It's really incredible.
HBO has no money left.
Where are they getting all this money from?
This is why they cut all the comic book stuff from DC Comics. They put all
We're not making any more comics. We're only making the television show Lovecraft Country. Is everyone all right with that? All 600 of you, get the hell out of here.
Michael, even the opening scene, the ridiculous sci-fi. This isn't a spoiler.
Well, yeah, it is a spoiler, but it's the opening scene. So let's talk about that first. What an opening scene, Ben.
Michael.
Yes.
What was going on?
Ben, you see, Ben, I'll explain to you. He was in a war, right?
Yes.
So he
the
has
Korean War.
He's in the Korean War. He has a bit of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
It's a classic.
Yeah, and he dreams about trenches and bombings and stuff. But Ben, he's also a nerd.
Super nerd.
Because his dad, who's a bit of a weirdo, instilled in him a love of science fiction and fantasy and monsters and horror. And
well, I'm gonna stop you there, Michael.
Go on.
I'll stop you there. It's his Uncle George who instilled a love of fantasy and horror.
Not
his father was against such swill.
Yeah, his dad was against books.
Yeah, not books, just against anything that wasn't learned or progressed black ideals.
Yeah, I know people.
Sorry, Michael, there's a wasp, and I hate wasps. You're going to see me freak out here.
There's a wasp. Just don't touch it, Ben. Just leave it alone. It'll leave you alone.
But it's behind me.
It's fine. It has no...
It's going to get me.
It's not going to get you. It's not some sort of Lovecraftian monstrosity. Benjamin. You see what I did there? Benjamin, it's very good. It's a very good exploration of gross, horrible racism. And it's very uncomfortable to watch. And everyone's very mean and horrible.
Oh boy, Michael, a couple of scenes there, I got the hand sweats. I was just like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, get out of there, very attractive people. They're all very attractive.
So attractive, Michael.
Everyone in it's very attractive, Ben.
And they tried to play it down every once in a while, like, Tick used to be a nerd, except that now he's a shredded 6'4" Adonis of a man.
Look at him. Put your shirt back on, you're embarrassing me.
He's out there in a fire hydrant just being like, And I was like, what is going on?
Everybody's very attractive. Anyway, Benjamin.
So interesting.
Benjamin, let's get into briefly, let's give a little spoiler break there.
Okay, good. Here's your spoiler break.
Here's
you ready?
Spoiler break. Little spoiler break for Lovecraft Country. Here comes the spoilers now. I'd say go and watch it because it's very good.
Oh, it's so good.
Benjamin, I thought that the message of the pilot episode was that the real monsters are us. But, Benjamin, it turns out that the real monsters are monsters.
Yeah, no, monsters are no good.
Yeah, no. Monsters, arguably even worse than racism, you could argue.
So, you could argue, Michael, except the monsters don't seem to pick on black people as much as they do pick on...
Well, the monsters will just get anyone. They'll
that seems
anyone.
to be the vibe. That seems to be the vibe.
Very shocking, Ben, for the suddenly to be shoggoths just coming out of the woodwork.
So good, Michael.
Yeah.
So good. One of the big differences here, Michael.
Ben,
go on.
There are too many eyes.
Too many. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No good.
I didn't want that many eyes.
Also, I love the way they're trying to make kind of a Lovecraftian monster universe. Like, they're vampires, technically.
Right.
You know, in a very loose kind of
Well, they'll just eat you
loosey-goosey
then.
experimental way. It was bloody good, Michael. Very good special effects, Michael. Very
Excellent,
good.
Ben. Too many eyes, I would still argue, but other than that, excellent.
Sheriff transformation
Yeah,
scene.
your dog
Very
doesn't like
good.
how many eyes there were.
No, not a fan of eyes,
No,
my
she's
dog.
like, that's too many eyes on those things. Get rid of them. That's what she's saying.
Get rid of them. That's nasty. Don't want to see it. Don't want to see it in my HBO programming. Michael, excellent work between the book and the movie. Just wonderful updating of the book a little bit, pushing elements of the story that would be much more interesting in a visual medium. For example, Michael,
Yes, go on.
that entire Shoggoth scene
Yeah.
where they're stopped by the old... well, first of all, where they're run out of the Sundown County
Yeah, by the old
one
racists.
sheriff
Yeah.
into the arms of another racist sheriff in the next county. Those are two separate stories in the book, but they've combined them together beautifully in this.
Okay.
And
Yes.
we never get to see the Shoggoth in the book.
Oh, really?
It's just described as it's definitely a wild animal, even though it's doing damage and moving at a speed that no wild animal that we know of can do. But this is much better, Michael. I was expecting a shadowy, monstery thing. Nope.
No, just too
No.
many eyes.
Big old big old predatory, multi-eyed monstrosities.
Yeah. I wonder who's behind it, Ben. It's probably those white
Oh,
people.
Probably those white folks
Yeah,
up in the big house on the
big
hill.
house. Yeah, I don't trust them in their shiny
Don't
car.
trust those guys. Michael, then I don't think I've enjoyed something as much as the what's to come in future episodes of Lovecraft Country. Their little montage, Michael, had me very excited.
Yes, Benjamin, it is excellent. I thought it might have been on last night, but it wasn't, I don't think so. I was a bit disappointed. I don't usually look forward week upon week to a show, Ben. I don't really care when they come out. But I'm
Yeah.
actually anticipating the next episode of this.
That's the most bizarre thing, Michael. When first of all, I was sitting there minding my own business during the week, Michael, when I got a text from both yourself and Shane saying, Lovecraft Country's very bloody good. And I
Very
went,
good.
oh no, they've seen the whole series already. And then I went to download the whole series, Michael.
Legally.
There was legally
Yes.
through payable channels.
HBO Max on a VPN.
HBO Max on a VPN, exactly. And then, Michael, I was like, but where's the whole season? I can only find episode 1. And I had to actually check, because the novelty, Michael, of having an episodic weekly series again
Very strange.
is hilarious.
Very strange.
What
There's
am I to do?
There's a lot of Watchmen DNA in it, isn't there, Ben?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The cinematography, Michael, the pacing, the dialogue, all very, very... the diner scene is excellent where they piece it all together.
Yeah, very unpleasant.
Racism, no good.
No good. Get out of there, America. What's wrong with you, America? Why have you got so much racism?
What's wrong with you, America? So I'm looking forward to seeing this fold out. The blonde gentleman that we saw there is Caleb Braithwice. He's to be the supervillain of the series.
Oh, I thought as
It's
much.
going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting, Michael. Tenterhooks, Michael.
On tenterhooks.
Atticus Freeman is played very well. Bloody Jussie Smollett.
Journey Smollett.
Her name right. Thank you. Bloody great as Letitia. Very interesting character. George, what a pleasant man.
What a lovely uncle.
I think the other thing that they've done really well from the book is that the one thing the book could be accused of is a little bit of Mary suing. And I know Mary suing is a loose term that we can't really apply to things because it's hard to understand. But in my understanding, it's where we maybe make a character a little bit too good.
Okay,
A
go
little
on.
bit too strong. A little bit too unrealistic through what they can do. In the original book, Hippolyta... who is the wife of George. We see the bedroom scene. She is always doing drives for the Safe Negro travel guide. She's always doing that. And that's not really a realistic thing for a black woman on her own to do in the United States during Jim Crow times.
Certainly in this version of it, anyway.
Yeah, so there's a really interesting... They kind of take that away from her in this. And then the other thing that a couple of forums lost their mind about, because of course they did, Michael, is that George's child is a daughter in this, not a son.
Oh, Ben, I don't care.
Nobody cares, Michael.
No, I
Who
certainly
could
don't.
possibly care? What difference does it make? It doesn't. There's no particular characteristic in the book that would distinguish the pair. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't care, Ben.
It doesn't make any sense.
How many
But a couple
eyes
of
do the
forums-
things have?
They don't, you see. I never get to see them in the book,
Oh,
Michael.
good. I saw them in the show. There's too many eyes.
I think they're definitely going to lean a lot more into the horror element here, Michael, because it's a visual medium. you'd kind of have to. There's only so many shadowy corners you can have without, disappointing your audience.
Yeah,
but
without
Michael,
essentially having a 1990s TV show.
so bloody good.
So very good, Ben. Your favourite character, of course, Ben, was Deja Taurus.
Yeah, bloody Korean Deja Taurus. Give me some of that.
Very interesting. Tell us who Deja Taurus is, Ben.
Michael,
Yes.
Michael, if you've ever gone back
Yeah.
in time, Michael,
To
to a land
2012.
before comic books.
Yes.
Right?
I find it hard to imagine.
1912. Ireland is still under the yoke of Britain.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Bloody... all kinds of Civil War memories raging through America. Well, cast your mind back, Michael.
Okay.
And you'll meet John Carter, who's an ex-Confederate. And he bloody chases down some Apaches in the Wild Wild West, Michael.
Yes.
And then he gets stuck in a bloody cave. But he
Yeah.
touches a magic rock and it sends him to Mars.
He doesn't touch a magic rock, Ben. He smokes a bloody thing with a vision quest with an Apache chief.
And then he gets bloody astral projected to Mars.
Yes.
And there he meets the Martians, Michael. And Deja Taurus, who
Mm.
is referenced in the opening scene of Lovecraft Country,
Yeah.
is the princess of Mars.
Do they fall in love, Ben? I hope they do.
Oh, they do, Michael. They get it on.
Does he rescue her a lot? Because she's
He
useless.
does, yeah, because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
absolutely useless.
Yes, that makes sense, Ben. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Michael,
Yes.
that brings us to this week's bloody topic.
Oh,
I
very
asked
good,
you and the
smooth.
listeners, how about we talk about bloody pulp stories, Michael?
Mm.
The bloody progenitors of the old superhero comics that we love so dearly.
Yes.
And it was mainly because I was watching Lovecraft Country and went, God, they love pulp stuff. Maybe we should do some stuff on pulp stuff.
Very good. What a link.
What a link. What a link. So let's start with John Carter there, Michael, as you
All right.
said. 1912. 1912 is when this came out, Michael. Well, let's do a little history of pulp first, Michael.
Okay.
Just to give readers an idea. For anyone that doesn't know,
Yeah.
the number one distinction between comic books and pulp characters, because sometimes the line can blur,
Yeah.
is that most pulp characters are written word.
Mm.
They don't have panels or
No.
illustrations, or they might have one or two illustrations, and then big old blocks of text,
Yeah.
Michael.
A written down story.
Yeah, so the pulp magazines are called so because they were made on cheap kind of recycled pulp paper. Not very refined, Michael. The edges were very rough on them. They didn't last very long. They couldn't hold up to much mussin and tussin, Michael.
No.
And they kind of became hugely popular. Where they exploded was during the Great Depression of the 1920s.
Everyone was very depressed.
Yeah, because it was entertainment that children could afford.
Mm-hmm.
And then adults would read them as well. But also, Michael, they were bloody titillating things. Yeah, you had a lot of
I've made myself
nudity.
laugh with that laugh. That was one of the best. That was one of the best titillating laughs. Benjamin, is pulp heroes and pulp fiction, is that the American equivalent of the British term a penny dreadful? Are they the same thing?
No, this would be the sequel, I suppose, to the Penny Dreadful. So the Penny
Okay.
Dreadful is a far more Victorian creation.
I
Exact
see.
same circumstances, economic hardship leading to cheap media used to con a working class out of a couple of books.
Ah.
So Penny Dreadfuls are going to be discussed here as well, Michael, though not in as much depth. The Penny Dreadfuls were serials brought out in London during the Victorian period, and it was right around the time of the Industrial Revolution in
Oh, that's
the UK.
different. That's different. Everyone was not as depressed, but more
Not as
overworked.
depressed, but there was a working class system, and they had a little bit more expendable income. And so a couple of lads went, well, how about we bloody entertain them? How about we do that and take a few shekels in the process? So that led to things that we've talked about in the podcast before, Michael, which are things like Varney the Vampire. If you don't know who that is, go back and check out our bloody vampire episode.
Yeah, I do. Back to pulp fiction, Ben.
Sorry, back to Pulp Fiction. So America then kind of got whiff of that idea about close to a century later and went, oh, let's bloody do that then. And so they did. During the economic depression, they started to publish all these different stories, Michael, and they were all serialized. So that means that you waited every week, Michael. Not
Corn
like we're waiting
flakes.
for Lovecraft Country next week.
Frosties.
Yes, no, not like that, Michael. Not
Special
that
K.
kind of serialization. Although,
Yes.
quite a lot of advertising done in pulp magazine publishings for things like Kellogg's, cornflakes, and etc. So these kind of
Riced
then
Krispies.
later on, these would be collected, Michael, into books and sold on then. So a lot of the early pulp heroes were actually serial things designed to titillate and fascinate. They have the greatest covers of any media of all time, Michael. If you ever fancy a good old romp through the past, take a look at some of the covers for Pulp magazines back in the day.
Deja Torres is always in the nude.
Yeah, she's got two little brass plates over the goodies,
over
and
the nips.
a quick long loincloth over the downstairs, and that's about it.
Yeah, and in the book, Ben, she's described as being way more even in the nude than on the covers.
Yeah, she doesn't wear nothing.
Nobody wears nothing on
Michael.
Mars. Everyone's all sexy nude on Mars, or as they
Don't
call
need
it on
to.
Mars,
Don't.
Ben, Barsoom.
Barsoom, which I always enjoy. Barsoom is just a great name for another planet.
Yeah, it's an excellent name.
Anywho, Michael, a lot of these pulp heroes went on to kind of inspire the comics that we love today. So there's a whole bunch of them, Michael.
Yes.
And Stan Lee himself credits John Carter as the inspiration for the modern superhero.
John Carter, Ben. We really should have had noted friend and enemy of the podcast, Shane, on for this episode. But as you know, he's locked down in the plagued lands, so he can't come and see us.
He is. He's
because
not allowed.
Benjamin, he's a huge John Carter fan. In fact, he has written a statement here which he would like me to read out. And he says that that 2012's John Carter of Mars is his favourite film. He likes the film John Carter of Mars as much as he hates Ben.
That's a lot.
Exactly.
He loves that film.
Yeah, this is his favourite film. That's a signed affidavit from him.
John Carter of Mars 2012 Disney movie is quite good.
It's all right, Ben.
It'll do. It'll do for a big sci-fi epic.
I watched it the other day, Ben. One of the issues you have when adapting your favourite pulp heroes, Ben, to the modern day is...
And they've tried.
And they've tried many a time, Ben. But one of the problems you have with an adaptation of them is that everything in them has influenced science fiction and fantasy to such a degree that they're tropes. So you're watching it and you're going, oh, flying ships on Mars, yeah, whatever. Okay, there's savage alien natives, whatever, and he's teamed up with them against the... Yeah, I've seen this before. You know, you're watching the whole thing going, oh, there's a speedy dog, yeah, I've seen him before. Oh, there's a sexy lady and she's a princess who needs help. And yeah, seen that before as well. You see what I'm saying?
Once you've read John Carter of Mars, Michael, you will never look at Star Wars the same way again, because the entire Jabba the Hutt arc from Star Wars is ripped straight out of John Carter of Mars, right down to the scantily clad princess lady.
Yeah. Benjamin, what they did in the film in 2012 was basically remake the first book, but take away anything which, to use the modern parlance, would be considered problematic.
Yeah, they polished a lot of stuff up there.
Yeah, so
Deja Torres is much more capable in 2012.
Yeah. She's essentially the hero of the thing, and she's like, no, you stand behind me. And look at me. I'm a lead scientist lady who's also a princess. What a coincidence. But other things as well, like they took away the Native American Vision Quest thing and made it a piece of Barsoomian technology.
Thank God.
Yeah. And they did, I mean, on the planet Barsoom, Ben, you have all sorts of different races. You have the white Martians, the red Martians, the black Martians,
the yellow Martians,
the big green fellas, the Willem Dafoes. You've got all of those types of fellas going on, and they kind of did away with it in this and just made everyone a bit more orange than normal. So John Carter is like a normal human colour and everyone else is a bit more orange, so they're the red-skinned Martians. But Benjamin, we live in Ireland. They just look like Irish young ones going on a night out.
They do.
It's quite distracting.
Very true.
It's quite
true.
I thought I was in the Club M, Ben. I was watching this and going, is this the planet Mars or is it the Club M from the 2000s?
Club Mars, Michael. Club
that's
M.
What the
that's
M
what it stands for.
Yeah.
The whole time. I think you've kind of stumbled across a very good point there, Michael. A lot of the pulp novels of the early 1920s through to the 50s, problematic, doesn't even begin to cover the scope of those particular novels, Michael.
Well, it really does, doesn't it, Ben? Because it reflects the societal shift. Because even if John Carter had been made 15 years previous to when it was made, it would have been a very different film.
Yes, it would have. It would have been more akin to 1996's bloody The Phantom.
Very good, Ben.
Starring Billy Zane.
Billy Zane, he's a good guy. He's trying to help you out. You should listen to him. Benjamin,
you should listen to your pal Billy Zane.
Exactly. See what I've done, Ben. You could almost say that, out of the jungle, the hero that stalks,
God.
the beasts call him brother, the ghost that walks, phantom.
That was excellent.
Thank you. It's
If
from...
only it wasn't copyrighted, I would demand that be our new theme song.
No, it's copyrighted, Ben. It's from 1986's Defenders of the Earth.
Gas. So you've seen cartoons with this man in it, but probably my first ever superhero film, Michael, was probably The Phantom.
Now, Ben,
the Ghost Who Walks from
I'm going to
1986.
interrupt you for a second, as I want to do. At the beginning of this, you said the Phantom's not really a pulp hero.
Yeah.
So I would like to hear about that, please.
So the Phantom is...
Out of the jungle, the hero that stalks. The beasts call him brother, Ben. The ghost that walks, phantom.
So the Phantom came out in 1936. So it was around the same time as a lot of the big pulp heroes.
That was brave.
However,
Ben. That was brave.
He's
because it wasn't a very progressive time.
He did wear a bright purple skin tight suit and was the first one to do it.
That's true.
So maybe. Michael, in 1936, he was published as a comic. So he's not really, in the same sense, a pulp hero as perhaps some of the serialized characters that we've been talking about. But he is certainly one of the earliest comic book creations to ever exist. And he came out in newspapers. He was a serialized newspaper thing. But it wasn't literary like a lot of the other characters that we have on these lists.
That
so he
is
was actually
interesting.
one of the first comic books, and he's the first one to kind of show off those rippling abdominals and those carved deltoids, those shredded lats, if you will.
Yeah, I've heard of muscles.
Yeah. He's a bit like a Mick Leonard for his time.
Yeah.
I mean, just
I do
in
have
clothes that are a little bit too tight.
Yeah. I do have a purple jumpsuit, Ben. I might show you sometime as a little treat.
Well, needless to say, that's what Comic-Con will be this year, if it ever comes back. We're ever doing Comic-Con again.
Yeah, if Comic-Con ever comes back, Ben, I'm going to have to figure out if I have a COVID gut or not when I put on my...
you
my
don't,
suit.
Michael.
I might have
You're
a little
looking
one.
trim.
I might have a
You're
little
looking
one. I
slim.
don't know. I haven't checked, Ben. I haven't put on a purple suit in a while.
Well, we'll do a podcast production meeting.
Benjamin,
we'll figure all that out, Michael.
I have only seen 1996's The Phantom, The Ghost Who Walks. Is Catherine Zeta-Jones in that?
Yeah, she's one of the villains. She's the villain's Gal Friday.
What's going on in it, Ben? Why don't you tell us what's going on in it?
So there are magical skulls, Michael, in 1996's The Phantom.
Yeah.
And those magical skulls have untold power. Now, what we didn't know, Michael, is that Steven Spielberg was watching this the whole time. He was saying, I could do this with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was way before that, Michael. And there's an evil industrialist in the United States. Yeah. And his name is Drax. And he's perfect, Michael. He has the greasy hair and the little pencil mustache. And, if I can buy it. If it's around, I can buy it. I can always buy it.
Who plays him? Thing. Also Billy Zane?
I'm not sure. I wish. That'd be great. I'll look him up now in a second. But anyway, he's on this quest for the crystal skulls. And this brings the Phantom to New York to find... It's either New York or Chicago. It's one of the two.
The big city, Ben.
The big city. And this is where the Phantom enters the equation. He kind of enters New York society to try and stop Drax from combining these skulls, because these skulls have ancient kind of jungle potential, if you want to look at it that way.
Okay, that sounds a bit racist, Ben, to be fair.
Yeah, it's loosely defined. That's the problem. It's like, it's a native tribe. Which native tribe? A native tribe. It's a whole thing. And basically, we can't bring those skulls together because it'll be like having an atomic bomb. It's untold power, and no man should wield it. And so that's kind of what happens in the film, Michael. And throughout it, Catherine Zeta-Jones is kind of your classic overly sexualized femme fatale kind of thing. All she wants to do is help her man until the Phantom is there with his bloody abs, and she's like, go on. Let's have a bloody tumble in the hay. Let's forget about all this shenanigans. And one of my favorite things ever, Michael, she has a change of heart because he's just such a ride. Because Billy Zane is just such a ride.
He's irresistible to women.
Towards the end of the film, she's just like, go on, I'll help you because you're a bleeding ride. And there's all that kind of thing. There's the wholesome American doll who helps the Phantom out. Turns out it's Kit, who is the Phantom's alter ego. It's his childhood love. There's a whole thing.
That's Christy Swanson. That's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it is. Indeed, you're absolutely right, Michael. And yeah, it's an interesting film. It's enjoyable. It's terrible in retrospect, but it has very fond childhood memories for me, so I shan't have a word said against it.
Benjamin, like in the 1986 children's animated television series Defenders of the Earth, does the Phantom have the power to summon the strength of 10 tigers?
No, superpowers are loosely defined in this, Michael. He's kind of just a bit of an athletic lad in a jumpsuit. He does seem to have a pet panther.
Yeah, good.
And he seems to be in tune with the animals.
Right. And does he have a daughter who has a psychic link with a panther, and then that daughter goes to school in Central City?
No.
No, okay. That's from Defenders of the Earth, Ben, what I was thinking.
Probably, yeah.
Ben, have you ever seen Defenders of the Earth?
No, thank God.
Defenders of the Earth is great, Ben. I watched a few episodes of Defenders of the Earth. Benjamin,
Go on.
Who's your favourite pulp hero, Benjamin? Is it the Phantom?
I'd say it's probably Conan.
Conan,
at this point
He's
in
not
my
in.
career.
He's not in this. He's not in this, Ben.
No.
But Flash Gordon, you like Flash Gordon, don't you?
Oh, Flash Gordon's bloody great, Michael.
Flash Gordon, you love him. Mandrake the Magician, Ben. He's a wizard.
He's a classic.
Yeah, Lothar.
Oh, I don't know who that is, actually.
Lothar
You've
is
stumped me there.
Lothar is your classic pulp racist.
Oh no.
Man Friday character. Lothar,
Noble savage.
Yeah. Lothar was the king of the 7 tribes of Africa.
Oh God.
Who abdicated his throne to become Mandrake the Magician's manservant.
Oh Jesus Christ.
And he's the strongest man on earth, Ben.
Oh, I don't know if I like that, Michael.
Yeah. But Ben, in the cartoon, they reframe him, and this is a phrase from the toys. They reframe him as a Caribbean ninja.
Sorry?
He's a Caribbean ninja.
Oh, that doesn't sound good, Michael.
Not great. But it's not terribly racist. The depiction in the cartoon isn't terribly racist. It's an awful racist idea, but it's not a terribly racist depiction of the cartoon. So Ben, Mandrake the Magician, Flash Gordon, the Phantom, and Lothar team up with their 4 kids. Mandrake Jr., Flash Gordon Jr., Mandrake Assistant Jr., and the other one Jr. And they form the Defenders of the Earth, Ben, and they fight against Ming the Merciless from the planet Mongo.
Is that Flash Gordon's villain? Is that
Yeah. So Ming the Merciless kills Flash Gordon's wife, who I assume is Dale Arden, Ben, but they never actually say her name in the cartoon. And he comes to invade Earth with ice robots. And they form a team, and they decide to team up. And Ben, it's from 1986, and it's like the original Avengers. Because there's 8 of them, and 4 of them are useless no-names, and 4 of them are superheroes.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and then at the same time, Ben, while all of this is going on, the 4 kids attend Central High School in Central City.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, man, Michael, because Lee Falk, the guy that wrote The Phantom, also wrote Mandrake the Magician.
See, what a link.
One and the same author. Yeah, so look at you.
Ben, do you know who the story editor for Defenders of the Earth was?
No.
Guess who
Stan Lee?
It was Stan Lee. Good old Stanley Leibovich.
Excellent. I love it. That was an easy guess. That was an easy guess, in fairness. Yeah, I mean, as you said, incredibly problematic. There's a lot of white savioring going on, Michael, in these pulp things. Tarzan is a good example of that. Edgar Rice Burroughs, the man who also wrote John Carter, another white guy coming into the savage land, sorting stuff out for them because he's just a more noble and intelligent creature.
Benjamin, was John Carter really Edward Rice Burroughs' family friend?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a framing device, Michael. But I mean, he could have been.
Oh, because that's in the movie too.
He could have been some No, that's the whole framing device in the book as well. There's no difference.
Right.
A nephew inherits his uncle's estate. His uncle is John Carter. And he inherits his estate and begins to read his diaries.
Mm.
That's how he learns the history of Barsoom.
Mm.
It's an interesting one, Michael. It's confusing, but it's a good device. It's a great way to sell a serial. It's a real person. Oh, bloody Mara's actual thing. You can travel to Barsoom. I'd say a lot of kids went missing that summer into caves. Never came back.
Never came back, Ben. But they just died. Unlike
they just
unlike
died.
Carter, yeah,
No astral projection vision quests this time.
No,
thank you.
Very few.
So that was a bit messy. I mean, a lot of these characters have just gone on to. A lot of them have stood the test of time, but some of them haven't. But the ones that have are pretty huge to this day. Michael Conan, as I said already, first published in 1932.
Right.
And Conan is kind of a fascinating thing because he's still around and he's not going anywhere. Robert E. Howard just created this huge universe. And Robert E. Howard has kind of become famous as the person who created the first kind of established universe. So he had a couple of different characters. He had Conan.
Yeah.
He had Kull.
Cool, yeah.
And then he had...
Solomon Kane.
Solomon Kane, there it is, good man. And these were all kind of different timelines in the same land. But it was like an established universe, and it was pretty interesting. Like, Solomon Kane is every single vampire hunter ever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Conan is every barbarian character to this day.
Yeah. In fact, Solomon Kane, if you watch a modern Van Helsing thing, you're really watching a Solomon Kane thing, because Van Helsing is an old researching doctor in the Dracula book.
Yeah, he's a decrepit old man.
But the one who looks like a Puritan witch hunter who's lepping about and doing sword fighting, this is Solomon Kane. That's not Van Helsing, Ben.
It's bloody Solomon Kane.
It's not Van Helsing, it's Solomon Kane. Benjamin, did you see the Solomon Kane movie with James Purefoy?
I did. Bloody terrible film, Michael. Very jumpy, roundy, hard to follow.
Yeah, that's Shane's second favourite film.
No.
Oh, yeah, he loves it. Yeah, look, I'll read an affidavit.
Go on.
This is a signed affidavit from Shane. My second favourite film is Solomon Kane.
We should have had him on the podcast for this.
Yeah, but he's locked down in the Plaguelands. He can't get out.
He's locked down
escape.
below. It's Solomon Kane's an interesting one. The movie wasn't great, Michael, in my opinion. Very messy. The lore was kind of all over the place. Sometimes a prick, sometimes not a prick. It really depends on his mood at the time.
A lot of these characters, Benjamin, show up in a series beloved to us and the likes of us.
Go on.
And that is Alan Moore's The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, he kind of went through all the Penny Dreadfuls pulp heroes and kind of stuffed them on in there, Michael.
He stuffed them all into one place, Benjamin. The other one I was thinking of, Ben, and you'll remember this because we talked about it quite recently, was Warren Ellis's 2000 series Planetary.
They're all there, Michael. Every single trope, storyline, arc, notion, common theme, whatever you want, it's there.
None of the names, though, Ben. He took them as archetypes rather than as names. Are these in public domain, Ben? I ask you this knowing that you might not know, but are they all public domain characters now?
No, well, Conan has another 12 years.
Okay.
Within Robert E. Howard's estate. John Carter is now firmly in the public domain.
Oh, very good. So we could make a John Carter film if we wanted.
We could make a John Carter film if we wanted. And then after that, John Carter is really one of the earliest kind of guys to do that. A lot of these are still within their copyright phase. There's a holy host, Michael, of them. I read you out the large list I have here. One of the ones that's probably most prominent in that Planetary series that you were talking about is the Doc Savage archetype.
Yes.
There's a man who looks exactly like Doc Savage, and he's called Doc Brass. Doc Brass in Warren Ellis's thing. Doc Savage is, in many ways, exactly what the superhero was supposed to be.
Go on.
So, Doc Savage is the son of a very wealthy doctor who hires experts from all over the world to come and train his son into the perfect human being, and he becomes Doc Savage. And Doc Savage is the most intellectual, most brawny, most muscular peak of human potential that you could possibly find. He goes around saving the day, Michael. And he was hugely popular in 1933. Then he kind of faded into obscurity. And for some bizarre reason, he was resurrected in popularity in 1960.
Right.
And in 1960 is where we kind of have the weird dome head and the man of bronze angle and that kind of strange, otherworldly look to him. That's where all that comes from, is from the 60s. But in the 1930s, Doc Savage was the peak of human potential. And he was a whole thing. Still in copyright, can't touch him.
We can't make a Doc Savage film, okay.
The only ones we could really have here, Michael, are a John Carter, a Tarzan, Spring-Heeled Jack.
Who's he now?
Spring-Heeled Jack is way, way earlier. Spring-Heeled Jack is in many senses the world's first ever superhero. Spring-Heeled Jack came from the Penny Dreadful era. So in the 1830s, there's an urban legend of a rather mysterious figure, Michael. And basically, if you were traipsing down an alley in old-timey London, bloody cockles and mussels.
Have it. No, it's Jack the Ripper.
Bloody hell. And that is a very realistic depiction of what it would sound like on a London street back in the day. Well, Michael, you might come across a mysterious figure.
Yeah.
And that mysterious figure, he might do one of three things, Michael. Yeah. He might bloody swipe at your breasts with his iron hand. He might bloody spit fire at you out of his mouth. Or, Michael, he might do the thing that he became most famous for. He might leap over you. He might do a big old spring above you.
I hope it's that one.
Yeah. So basically, he became known as... Originally, he was called Phantom Jack.
Right.
And then he became known as Spring Heel Jack because he was always bouncing around the place.
Leaping over people.
And in the 1830s, he became a sensation. There were all these kind of false first-person accounts of meeting Spring Heel Jack. He was even suspected to be an Irishman, the Marquis of Waterford, who was an Irish-born
Those
nobleman.
Waterford people, Ben, they're notorious lepers. They're always lapping up stuff.
Always lapping around. But anyway... this legend kind of grew, and in the original tellings, he's an absolute menace. He's something akin to Jack the Ripper.
Right.
There's no actual deaths at his hands, but people are mauled by this brass claw and his horrible visage that spits flame and thing like that. And then in 1863, one Penny Dreadful author has the inspired idea to be like, well, I'm just going to make him into a hero. He's going to save damsels in distress with his witty, bloody attitudes. And Spring Heel Jack becomes this depiction wearing a Mephisto mask. The Mephisto mask, Michael, is that kind of classic devil expression with the little mustache. And
I know it, yeah.
Pointy little goatee. That's the Mephisto mask. That's what it's called. And he wears one of those, and he has his spring heels, and he's got the Spider-Man wings from the 90s comics.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a set of them, and he goes around defending England and its dainty lasses from thuggery and
the Irish.
Probably. So. That he's kind of the original, but we could make a movie out of him, Michael.
All right, let's do it.
We could make an anti-Dublin film called Spring Heel Jackeen.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, we'll get Colin Farrell on board.
Oh, get the Fowler in, and he can do his best Conor McGregor impression while he's leaping around.
Yeah, very good. That'll settle it.
Oh, that'd be great. So that's a big one, Michael. But then I suppose will we wrap it up here, Michael? Or
go on. Do one more little thing and then we'll wrap it up.
Do one more little thing. One of the other massive things that came out of the Pulp here, Michael, are all the storylines we love today.
Go on.
There was one vigilante here, Michael, in 1939, so a little bit later than some of the ones we've been talking about. But he was the Black Bat, and he was written by a guy called William F. Jenkins. And William F. Jenkins has the distinguished honour of being one of the first people, if not the first, to talk about parallel dimensions. The notion of multiverses and things like that. He came up with that in a famous short story called Sideways in Time. He's also the man that's largely suspected to have predicted the internet accurately.
No, not Tim Berners-Lee from CERN.
No. So it's pretty interesting. Like, a lot of those tropes came through. The lone hero is a big thing that persists today. That came from Conan, Tarzan, all these different things. I mean, it's a big thing. The night detective, we wouldn't have Batman without. Do you know what I mean? We had the Shadow. The Shadow, Black Bat. The Rocketeer is there. Then France played a huge role in this, Michael, by pioneering a huge series much, much earlier than the American Pulp magazines. These would have been around 1910 to 1920, and they came up with a holy host of archetypes, Michael. One of the most impressive ones, and one that you'll really enjoy, Michael, is Nyctalope from 1911, and it's basically Iron Man, but it was a French lad in Paris
just in
who would go around in a suit that he built himself and kick some ass, and he later became a cyborg. So, you know, these things have given us everything that we love today, Michael. Without them, we'd be nothing.
What a note to wrap up on.
I know, what a winner. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes?
What do you think are problematic in pulp comics? Get in touch with us.
Is that the tact we're taking, the problematicness?
It's the tact I've taken.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, Ben. Here's the problematicness.
Go on.
Savage tribes, white saviors, and useless women.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, isn't there?
I mean, that's the episode name right there, isn't it?
Yeah, write that down, quick. I'm not even kidding. Write that down while I do the wrap-up. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did we miss? Who are your favourite Pulp magazine heroes. Get in touch with us. You can do it in a number of different places. If you're on the interwebs, you can find us at seomrabeag.com, seomrabeag.com.
Means tiny room in Irish.
Tiny room in Irish. If you are on the gram, which is still the interwebs, but a different type of interweb, you can get in touch with us at Seomrabeag. seomrabeag. Same thing. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, do leave us a review and tell us what you thought. Make it a good one, though, because we're very sensitive.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm all right. You can be mean to me.
If you or any one of your pals would like to listen to this, or you think they might be interested, if you're listening to us on Spotify, first of all, give us an follow, and then share this directly with your pals. To our slowly growing YouTube audience, give us an like.
Yeah, that's
subscribe.
weird, Ben. It must be something to do with the lockdown, I reckon.
I don't know. I think it's just lockdown sitting in front of your computer.
Yeah, exactly.
To do, should be working. I'm gonna check out YouTube instead. Oh, what's this?
Yeah, it's two pricks talking about something.
Two pricks talking about something. Still would have been a better podcast name than Michael and Benjamin's podcast. All right, that's it from us this week, ladies and gentlemen. We will talk to you next week. Oh, wait, in case you haven't had enough of us this week, stay tuned for Collecting Issues this very Wednesday, where we'll be taking a look at Buffy the Vampire Slayer Volume 8.
Season 8, Volume 1.
Thank you. And that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Bye. Watch out for Mars.